I don't believe what I just saw.
You believe in miracles? Yes!
It's September 8th, sports fans, and on this day in 1921, Margaret Gorman was named the winner of the first Miss America pageant in Atlantic City, New Jersey. While the four of us at TDIS might not win any beauty pageants, we feel like we'd have a better chance if there were different categories, like, say, best t-shirts, most baseball caps, or, especially, best knowledge of funny sports trivia. Now, if sports history was a pageant category, today's discussion might win us each a golden tiara. Here's just a teaser of some of the topics we'll be discussing today. Big Mac rewrites the record books. A Tonya Harding film you don't have to be embarrassed to admit you saw. Oh. Philly fans christen a brand new stadium to boo their own players in. A KC infielder proves he can do it in every position. The finals of the U.S. Open lead to an awkward family get-together. The best 10 grand the Cubbies ever spent, and a certain two-time Stanley Cup winner calls it a career.
Who could that be?
You'll find out. We've got poise, we've got our best evening wear on, and we're ready to crush the talent competition on our way to becoming America's next sweetheart. Remember, folks, real beauty comes from the inside, and our insides are full of funny sports stories just waiting to come out and shine on this latest episode of This Day in Sports.
Yes, okay. Well done. Well done, Mike. Excellent work. Really did nail it. And you kind of did like a dirty joke in there, and he kind of got away with it, didn't he?
Yeah,
He spotted
well,
that
after
one.
Fraser swore, I felt like it was all
you were okay to do that.
Yeah.
I should mention before we get into some of the things that happened on September 8th in sports history. We have lots of great sponsors out there. We have Cabin. And our goal tonight is to sell one Cabin sweater.
Yeah, that's right. Pull your money together, folks.
They're fantastic sweaters, fantastic stuff. Cabin's a big sponsor of ours. There's also the Arkells have donated a bunch of mugs that are in there. Ron James has an autographed book. Andrew Forbes, a writer from Peterborough, he's got a bunch of books out there for sale. There's also some of those in the bag to give away as well. And I want to brag about my nephews for a second.
Okay.
My nephews have created, one of them's a stats person, one of them is an art designer.
Okay.
And together they've created these bookmarks, these sports bookmarks. And on these bookmarks, for example, this is Crosby, so it's got the Penguins thing. This is like stats on like the chances of Crosby scoring a certain amount of points in a season, and it's all stitched up nice and designed by the designer. So you got Crosby, you got Kopitar, you got Matthews, all sorts of guys. If you purchase anything tonight, you get one of these special bookmarks for free.
No one else will have one.
That's right. No one else. Very unique.
Very unique.
These are handcrafted.
Bespoke.
In Savannah, Georgia.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. The stats come from Kingston, and they're crafted in Savannah.
And they, I looked at them. They are a bit small, but if you have a magnifying glass, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Thank you very much.
If you're 20 or under, you can read them.
That's right.
Everybody else, a little bit of a magnifying glass.
Yes. And how many people in this room have a magnifying glass? All right, this guy right here for sure.
There we go.
Yes,
you probably have one on your phone. Yeah,
that's
right. Order
exactly. Have it on your phone. So, anyway, these are fantastic, one of a kinds, and they're out there at the table. There, if you purchase something tonight, special, you get yourself one of these.
That's right.
What a night tonight.
I love that.
It's great.
It's Saturday night in Bobcaygeon, friends. You get free stuff. That's how it works. Excuse me? Yeah, how many books did you buy?
Oh, all right. We've got a walkout.
Right, would you like Crosby? Would you like Kopitar? How about a Stamkos? How about that? What do you like? Okay, all right. I'll come over there. I'll get you. There you go.
Oh God,
careful! Oh my.
That's the kind of fun one, right? He was almost a Leaf.
That's right.
That guy's a Leafs fan. He got the Austin Matthews. He got the Austin Matthews tag, so he wants to get that as well.
Fair enough.
Okay, excellent. Thanks so much. Thank you for positive heckling. I appreciate that. That's right. Yes. That's the kind of this your wife with you right here? Yeah. Oh. It's your girlfriend, isn't it? It's your girlfriend. I know it's your girlfriend now. Okay. Anyway, I'm just gonna say that's kind of heckling that doesn't embarrass the person you're with, right? That's exciting. It's a positive.
There was a pause before the.
For sure. He had to check. He had to remember.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's perfect. This is fantastic. Thanks so much. Hey, let's
jump into the show.
Let's jump into the show. Yeah, let's do it. September 8th. Let's go.
All right, September 8th, 1998. At St. Louis's Busch Stadium, in a game against the Cubs, Cardinals slugger Mark McGwire broke Roger Maris's single-season home run record when he hit his 60-second dinger. 60-second. It was a wall scraper that just cleared the fence, and it set off a wild celebration that included all of McGuire's teammates, his son, the Maris family, and Chicago outfielder Sammy Sosa, who came in from right field to congratulate him. As you know, Sosa and McGuire had been in a race for the home run title all season long, and both men broke Maris's previously untouched record that year. McGuire finished with 70 home runs, and Sosa got 66.
Ooh, that's a lot of steroids.
It was a really long celebration. I don't know if you watched it, but they took
It took a long time.
It took maybe a bit much.
So we'll start it right off with a real hot topic. Should Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire be in the Hall of Fame?
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say no.
Michael?
No, because of steroids?
Yes, because I think it's going to be an all or none right now. We have to either completely change our mind on steroids and get all the guys in, or just say that it can't be one or two. You can't pick or choose from that era. Okay. That would be my opinion.
Now, I'm only playing devil's advocate. I'm not necessarily saying, but nothing they did at the time was illegal. Everybody realizes that, right?
Yeah.
There was no testing. Nothing they were taking was illegal. It wasn't cheating. They weren't lying about it. McGuire was taking interviews with the Andro right on his shelf behind him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the blame should be on Major League Baseball for not enforcing a policy, not on the players for trying to compete and be better.
All right.
Well, we don't know. We also don't know who also was cheating too. A lot of those pitchers that they gave up that hit those home runs off of might have been cheating too. Using all kinds of stuff. I don't know. It's tricky.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Mike, what is your
I think they should be in. Mark McGuire has 583 home runs. Sammy Sosa has 609 home runs.
And no one said yes out there.
No one said yes, except me.
Except for you. That's it.
Well, no, I said yes.
Oh, yeah, you
I'm
said
sitting
yes.
right next to you.
That's right.
Okay, and also a shout out to Sandy did this PowerPoint tonight, and we're going to be looking at it and judging how wide the pitchers are. And if you feel they're too wide, just boo them. Feel free.
Yeah. Why? Why would you encourage? It's going to happen anyway. Why encourage it early?
McGuire's a big guy, but I think he's extra big in the photo.
Yeah,
this one's pretty good.
Okay.
So that was September 8th, 1998.
September 8th, 2017, I, Tonya, a biographical mockumentary movie about American figure skater Tonya Harding was released in theaters today. Starring Margot Robbie as Harding, and she was also a producer on the film. It also starred Allison Janney and Sebastian Stan, and Janney won an Academy Award, a Golden Globe, and a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Supporting Actress for her portrayal of Tonya's mother, Lavona Golden. The movie has a 90% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Not a lot of other figure skating movies. Blades of Glory.
Yeah, I mean
that's not
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say it's clearly the best figure skating movie, but then I was like, there's not a lot of competition. The Cutting Edge.
Cutting Edge.
Yeah.
Is that one where wasn't there one where
that's
a hockey
with D.B.
player,
Sweeney,
a hockey player, and a figure skate? That's it.
Yeah,
okay.
that's it. Exactly it.
Yeah.
This Bobby Cannavale was also in this movie.
That's right.
Can I quickly tell a Bobby Cannavale story?
Please, Sandy.
We're running long.
Quickly.
Okay, I won't tell it.
No.
Does anyone know who Bobby Cannavale is? Yes. Okay.
Third watch.
Thank you. Yeah, you'll definitely know him from the face. We quickly put him up on the screen too wide for everybody to appreciate. This is one of my favorites.
Right.
Bobby Cannavale told a story really quickly. He was on a talk show. He said first time he was in Hollywood, he was just getting a break. He's getting a couple movies. He was stuff in like Boardwalk Empire, all that kind of stuff. And he goes to a party, and Larry David is there. You know Larry David from Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm? He sees Larry David. He says, I got to say hi to this guy. He goes over. He's very nervous. He says, Larry David, I'm a huge fan of yours. I just want to say Seinfeld's the greatest show of all time, and I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. And Larry David turned to him and said, are you wearing shorts? And walked away. That's the true Larry David experience right there. That's what it is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a great name to say to Bobby Cannavale.
Fantastic name. I'll tell you what happened in September 8th, 1953, since everyone's asking. The Cubs purchased the contract to 22-year-old shortstop Ernie Banks from the Kansas City Monarchs in the Negro League for $10,000. Banks played 19 seasons in baseball, all with the Northsiders, and was a 2-time NL MVP and 14-time NL All-Star. He had 512 home runs and was voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1977. That is the best $10,000 anyone could ever spend.
Cubs ever spent, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Cub, right
Let's
there.
play two, right? That's his famous quote.
That's exactly it.
That's Ernie
exactly
Banks.
it.
Yeah, I think
yep.
so.
September 8th, 1960, American sprinter Wilma Rudolph won her third gold medal at the Rome Olympics, anchoring the U.S. women's 4x100-meter relay team. She had already won gold in the 100 and 200-meter events, and with the relay, she became the first American woman to ever win 3 gold medals in one Olympics. She set the world record in the 200-meter in Rome, marking the beginning of her being known as the fastest woman in the world.
Yeah.
A couple more facts about Wilma Rudolph is she was the 20th of 22 children.
Oh,
Holy smokes.
But she also, but she also, as a child.
No, you said but. No, you said but.
As a child, she also overcame polio, scarlet fever, and double pneumonia. Some doctors thought she wouldn't walk again when she was younger.
oh my gosh.
And then she went on to... So, Fraser, if you're out there,
Yeah.
you know Wilma
You're going to
Rudolph.
become a
Come on.
ski champion, Fraser. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
September 8th, 2008, 42-year-old Dodgers pitcher Greg Maddux, yes, he pitched for the Dodgers briefly, issued two walks during a game versus the Padres to give him a total of 999 walks in his career. He retired after that season as just the second pitcher ever to have more than 3,000 strikeouts and less than 1,000 walks. Maddux had 3 more starts that season still, but he did not walk anybody in any of those 18 innings to keep it under 1,000.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to guess who the other pitcher is with more than 3,000 strikeouts and less than 1,000 walks?
Jeez. Okay.
Hall of Famer for sure.
Yeah.
No?
No, he walked everybody.
Too many walks.
He walked everybody.
Koufax, no, I don't think he played long enough to get 3,000. Carlton, no, too many walks, but no, great guess. Didn't quite get there. Hall of Famer. Okay, I'm gonna. The only hint. If I give you this hint, he's Canadian.
Fergie Jenkins.
Fergie Jenkins.
Fergie
That's right.
Jenkins.
The only other one.
Wow. Okay. Excellent
Isn't that cool?
fact.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nicely done, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Excellent work. And I love that he played more. He didn't go to like 999 and go, now I should retire so I'm under 1,000. He played 3 more games.
3 more games
Yeah.
and didn't walk anybody in any of them.
This is September 8th, 2001. An historic night for women's tennis at the U.S. Open. Venus Williams defeated her sister Serena in straight sets in the first ever all-sister singles final in American history and the first ever major singles final held in prime time. The only other sisters who faced each other in a tournament final happened 117 years earlier when Maude Watson, that's right, Maude Watson, y'all remember her, defeated her younger sister Lillian for the Wimbledon women's final 117 years earlier.
Maude Watson is a great 1884 name.
Is the exact name, yeah. You know,
And Maude and Lillian.
Maude
it
and
sounds
Lillian
like they were
Watson.
in like a sitcom in the 50s or something, you know.
Yeah. And I bet 117 years earlier, they weren't wearing shorts.
No.
They would have been wearing those like long dresses. When
Yeah,
they played
yeah.
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, it's even
Not-
more challenging.
not fun.
Yeah. Not fun, says Mike Sheridan.
How's that for perspective on sports, ladies and gentlemen? Not fun. You can quote me.
September 8th, 1972. After each team had won 1 game, tied 1 game, and lost 1 game, the Soviets defeated Canada 5-3 in the 4th and final Canadian game of the 1972 Summit Series in Vancouver's Pacific Coliseum. Team Canada was missing 2 key defensemen in Serge Savard and Guy Lapointe. Russian goalie Vladislav Tretiak made 38 saves, including 19 in the third, to seal the win. The crowd booed the Canadian team, you remember that, as they left the ice, prompting an impassioned post-game speech on the ice by team leader Phil Esposito. The series resumed, of course, 2 weeks later with 4 games in Moscow.
What happened?
Well, they lost the first, but as we all know, they won the last 3 and took the
Yes.
series.
That's correct.
In 8. Why 8?
I
Why
mean,
not?
Yeah, how did they know one of them would end in a tie?
I guess maybe they wanted to, like, create the
Make it
possibility
even.
of tie.
4 in Canada, 4 in Russia, right? I
Yeah,
think
so that
that's-
we could all be
Oh,
friends.
that's it. That's
Hey,
it.
we
You
all
got
won
it.
4 each. We can all be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems like a Canadian idea, by the way. The Russians would be like, somebody wins.
And we'll all
Yeah,
hold.
definitely.
Somebody wins.
Someone must die.
Someone must, yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was the Canadians who booed their home team. That's
un-Canadian.
un-Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phil's speech is great, though. Have you ever seen the clip of it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's really great.
Yep.
You're like, he's right. It's
I love it. I
fantastic.
love this. This is a side note I've talked about before, but I love this story about when Phil and Tony Esposito, come from the
Yep.
Sioux. They're up there in the Sioux, and
They're brothers.
yeah, of course, they're brothers. Yeah, thank you for saying that.
Wait a minute, what?
Thank you. Whoa. Okay, whoa.
Okay.
And Phil
Shocker.
and so Phil was getting famous first, and
Yeah.
but kids would come by the house in the Sioux, and they'd say they want an autograph from the parents, and then they're like, "Oh, Phil's not here." And then eventually Phil put a stack of autographed pictures by the door, so his mom could just give the neighborhood kids, the autographed pictures,
Like
And
trick-or-treating.
Yeah, like, can we get an autograph? Here's an autograph, Phil. There's Phil's autograph to give it out to. So anyway, Tony tells a story. One time he was home, they rang the doorbell, and he had just gotten up, I think, with the Blackhawks, wherever it was, and they said, "Can we get Phil's autograph? And he's like, oh, they get the stack out. He's like, Tony's just handing out Phil's autograph to like these kids. So good. I remember once I was Second City too. We got a phone call. We were doing a hockey show, and the bartender said, "There's these two guys here who want to come watch the hockey show." And I said, "Who are they?" And they're like, "Who are you guys?" "It's Phil and Tony, your brothers." And I'm like, Esposito's? Yeah, should have let them in. Yes. You should let them in.
You really should. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yes.
September the 8th, 1980. MLB Commissioner Bowie Kuhn suspended Texas Rangers pitcher Fergie Jenkins for the remainder of the season for his refusal to cooperate with the investigation into his arrest on drug charges in Toronto on August 25th. The Players Association filed a grievance against the commissioner for the suspension, and because during a customs search at Pearson Airport, Jenkins was caught with 3 grams of cocaine, 2 grams of hash, and 2 grams of marijuana. He was going to have a good weekend. Eventually... I didn't make it up. I'm just reporting. Eventually, his suspension was reduced to 2 weeks. Jenkins retired a few years later and was not elected into the Hall of Fame in his first 2 years of eligibility. And this Toronto arrest was viewed by many as a possible reason for his delayed election. Now, again, I'm going to go back to the Hall of Fame. Do we think morality or behavior should be a factor in your Hall of Fame candidacy?
Well, they've definitely shown that.
Ty Cobb's in, so
that's true.
Sure.
So I guess not. But
Pete Rose isn't. So
that's what
morality,
I mean. Like,
that's things that could happen.
Like, is it the Baseball Hall of Fame, or is it like a Hall of, like, do you have to be a Hall of Fame person as well? Because if that's the case, there's a few guys that got to come out of there.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Anyone else that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame that's like that? I don't know. Rogers Hornsby, yeah, he's a world-class jerk, I guess.
And the range.
It sounds like maybe our...
Not the wrong person.
Bruce Hornsby?
Oh, Bruce Hornsby, yeah, different guy.
Get those mixed up.
But he also should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Just the way it is.
That's the way it is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you for that round of applause. No, please, you should. Thank
Stop
you.
it.
Yeah.
It's too late now. Yeah.
Yeah, give them that old trophy, maybe a paddle. I can tell you what, this is interesting. September 8th, 1965, during a game versus the Angels in Kansas City, A's player Bert Campaneris became the first player in MLB history to appear in all 9 positions on the field in the game. Okay, the Cuban All-Star started the game at shortstop. Then he moved over to the infield, out of the infield, around the infield, did the whole infield, shortstop, third, second, first. Then he went to the outfield each inning before pitching in the 8th inning. He threw ambidextrously, by the way. He threw left and right. Okay, yeah.
He really
and
did.
Then he played catcher in the 9th. He played every single position in one game. First person ever to do it. The idea was the brainchild, of course, of Charlie Finley, the owner of the Athletics, in order to draw fans to the park. More than 21,500 fans saw Campy make history that night. The Angels won the game 5-3 in extra innings, and Campaneris was held hitless in the game.
See, that's the thing.
Didn't get a hit.
No.
Played all these positions.
Yeah.
Didn't get a hit.
He was too
threw
busy-
left and right.
He's too busy trying to keep track of his gloves and it's hard.
That's an amazing.
Yeah, it's been done a couple of times since then, but he was the first. It's pretty incredible, isn't it?
It is incredible, and I'm gonna segue into one bonus one before we
got an
move to the next
extra.
part of the show because it's important. And
This ties in, ladies and
this
gentlemen.
is
Pay
it.
attention.
Keep up. This is where the mystery gets solved here. September 8th, 2011. Cory Stillman announced his retirement from the NHL. The left winger was originally selected by Calgary with the 6th overall pick of the 1992 NHL entry draft. He appeared in over 1,000 career games for the Flames, Blues, Lightning, Senators, Hurricanes, and Panthers, finishing with 278 goals and 727 points, and won 2 Stanley Cups, one with Tampa, the other with Carolina as well. And let's just say that is our second half guest, and he's here in the audience tonight. Yeah, that's right.
Well, we hope he stayed.
We hope he stays.
Yeah.
But you don't stroll into a theater very often and go, we're talking about someone big, and then they're there.
No,
that's
right.
a big deal.
I wonder how Corey feels about this photo of himself.
Yeah.
Oh, he's quite wide. I made Corey as wide as possible.
Yeah, we really did.
Like, look at the
He
Hurricane.
looks like he's wearing the goalie equipment.
The Hurricane should be almost a circle.
Corey contacted me before the show and said, make my picture as wide as possible. So when I come out in
I
real
look
life,
jacked.
they're like, whoa, he looks great.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at, whoa, he lost 400 pounds.
He's in better shape than his playing days. Amazing.
It's all part of the game.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a circle. It looks like a racetrack.
It's a little.
The logo, yeah.
Let me just point out that I did this Photoshop for free, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We had no money in the
That's
budget
right,
for
that's
professional graphics, okay? But
That's
I did
right.
this Photoshop for free.
You wouldn't know.
Thank you, Michael, I appreciate that.
You were like Campy. You did every position.
I did
in the
every
show.
position in the show. That's exactly right. Well, this
no
has been fun.
hits.
Hey, let's give a round of applause. That was to end this round. We're getting a little applause.
okay,
Yeah,
that's a good
yeah,
round.
that's what it is. And we loved having Fraser here doing stand-up for us, Fraser Young doing stand-up. So let's have him back here now, returning as a guest. Here we go. Fraser
Young, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, who's here? Hey, Fraser Young returned. All right.
It's like a sitcom.
Yes, Fraser, thank you for coming through that door.
Yes.
What's your favorite pennant on that door there?
As pennants go, I like this North Stars one. I love that old North Stars logo.
The North Stars logo.
Yeah,
that's a good
it's
one
a
there.
classic, isn't it? Yeah.
The North Stars, the Rockies, and I love that we have the 76, 77 Sabres, and that little, you can't see it from the audience probably, but it says, think Stanley Cup. Sabres are still thinking about that a little bit. Yeah. You really,
It does not say win Stanley
no,
Cup
it says think. Just think about it. We'll get to it maybe.
someday.
Fraser, thank you so much for being here. There's a couple things we want to get to. Of course, we're going to get to our quick hits, and Fraser's going to join with that. But we want to ask a couple questions. Mike, what's going on in your mind with Fraser?
So, Fraser, you've told me about your job on the show with Johnny Harris. I just wonder, traveling all around the country, getting to know people all over the country, doing shows there, what's a particularly, is there one town, city, community that stands out to you, and why would that be?
I would say.
And don't say Bobcaygeon, they'll know you're
Here's a
lying.
few. Bobcaygeon is my favorite town in the world. Yeah. And
They fell for it. They
hate
fell for it.
Bracebridge.
Yeah.
there we go. All right.
Second Bracebridge.
Last summer I got to go to Dawson City in the Yukon, which was amazing. Super cool place. They got mountains there. They got the river. They have a casino there, which appeals to my particular interests. Sure. It is wonderful. And I mean, like the history behind it. You know what I mean? Like the gold rush there, and it like being the most famous city in the world for a couple of years. Yeah. Like it was like the whole story behind it. Like if you've never read about Dawson City, I recommend you read about it. It's a very long history. I don't want to go about it for the whole podcast, but it's great. Read about Dawson City and enrich your lives.
Wonderful.
There you are.
Fraser, you're a Giants fan.
I am. I'm a New York Giants fan. I am a wonderful team, beloved in all of the Kawarthas.
And I sometimes cheer for the Cleveland Browns. And I was wondering, definitely.
Yeah,
But looking back now, I remember we were exchanging some fiery texts when Odell Beckham Jr. got traded.
Yes.
And now looking back now, how in hindsight are you still mad about the Odell Beckham Jr. trade when the Giants sent him over to Cleveland?
I'm still mad about how it all went down because I feel that the Giants very poorly handled that. But one of the draft picks they got turned into Dexter Lawrence, who is a phenomenal defensive line player, nose tackle. And so it's like in hindsight, great trade because his body broke down a little bit after that. Yep. Although he is a Super Bowl winner, so go for him. I still love Odell. I still cheer for him. And but I'm glad we made the trade.
Okay,
good to hear.
Yes.
All right. I guess I'll have to dig into the Habs because that's your team.
Yes.
So as a young hockey watcher,
yes.
Who was the first player that you were like, I love this team because of this player? Was there a particular player?
Mats Naslund. Mats Naslund was my boy all the way through. Loved him because I was 9 years old when I first kind of started paying attention to hockey, and so I was short, and so was Mats Naslund, and I was like, this is my guy, and it's like just a guy who could do anything on the ice, much like me, except for the exact opposite. I'm terrible at hockey. But it was like very, very fun to watch.
And so was your family all Habs fans?
Yes.
Yes. They're
my parents are from Montreal, so
okay, that'll do it.
Right.
That'll do it. That'll definitely do it.
Yes.
Okay. You have
Here for parents.
My parents. They're good people.
Everywhere.
This audience has turned ugly. They're
Yes,
booing parents now.
Boo. Boo, Mr. and Mrs. Young.
Boo, Montreal.
My parents were grocery shopping the other day.
Boo! I hate food. Wow. Just anger. So much anger.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Fraser, we invite guests on the show to, of course, participate in our quick hits section.
I'm excited.
This is generally just pretty fast facts. We don't talk a lot about them unless we really want to. And it's very, in my opinion, important to startle everybody else by saying quick hits in a weird way. Okay. But, Mike, you're going to kick this off. And we're going to see how this goes. And Fraser's going to participate. You good with that, Fraser?
Yeah, I'm great with it.
Go along the line.
Yeah, let's go along.
All right, ready? Quick hits!
Yes.
The first in September the 8th, 1888, the first 6 matches in English League football history were played today. The EFL is the oldest football league in the world, and it was the top-level league in England until 1992 when the top 22 clubs left to form the Premiership. It was initially known as just the Football League.
Among the original 12 teams in the league were Aston Villa, Blackburn Rovers, Everton, and the Bolton Wanderers.
Quick Hits 2003 in their first ever home game at their newly constructed Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The Eagles laid an egg with a 17-0 loss to Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football. Donovan McNabb had just 148 passing yards. He was sacked 3 times and he threw an interception. Philadelphia managed just 13 first downs in the game and were booed off the field by disappointed fans. I just wanted to bring that up because, Sandy, you love Philly fans. And
Do not. Absolutely the opposite.
Did you feel bad for them that day?
Listen, as I've said before, Eddie Robinson was a 100-year-old baseball player, and for a few years he was the oldest living baseball player. He had a podcast, this 100-year-old man, and he could not stop talking about how awful Philadelphia is. And that the 100-year-old man has played everywhere and known everything, and he knows Philly's awful. I support that idea. I really do.
And you know who Tampa's kicker was in this game was Martin Gramatica.
Gramatica!
So you know he must have been adding a little flourish after that shutout.
Well, there's nothing like the flourish of a kicker. September 8th, 1973, 6 days after he was fired by the Detroit Tigers, Billy Martin was hired as the new manager of the Texas Rangers, replacing Whitey Herzog. Team owner Bob Short explained, "If my mother were managing the Rangers and I had the opportunity to hire Billy Martin, I'd fire my mother."
Oh.
Yeah. Martin led the
Booing
Rangers
parents
to
again.
Fraser Young's parents.
Yeah, that's right.
Martin led the Rangers to their first winning season the next year, finishing second in the AL West, and was fired midway through the 75 season.
As he so often was.
No quick hit?
Quick hit!
Quick hit!
Yes.
September 8th, 1969. Australia's Rod Laver won the U.S. Open with a 4-set victory over fellow Aussie Tony Roach. It completed Laver's second Grand Slam sweep of his career. He won all 4 Grand Slams that year and also accomplished the feat 7 years earlier. In between that, he didn't win a single Grand Slam tournament for 6 years.
Wow.
He remains the only player in tennis history to complete a Grand Slam sweep twice in his career. That year's U.S. Open final was delayed by soggy weather, forcing tournament officials to hire a helicopter to hover over the court for an hour to help dry it off. And because this was in the brief period after the invention of the helicopter and before the invention of the mop.
Yes.
They had not yet developed mop technology, and so they got the helicopter scientists.
That's the 70s, yeah.
Yes.
Right,
yeah.
Well, that was the whole idea. They wanted to have drones in homes because they hadn't had a mop even. They were just like, let's just fly this thing around drying the floors. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Quick hit! 2013. On the first play of the NFL's regular season, Tennessee Titans kick returner Darius Raynaud caught the opening kickoff from Pittsburgh with 1 foot in his own end zone and 1 foot out. He then stepped back and knelt down to signal a fair catch. The officials conferred and agreed that what he did constituted a safety and awarded the Steelers a 2-0 lead just 3 seconds into the game. It was the fastest point scored in NFL history.
Whoa, there we go.
Quick hit. In 1980, 2 legendary goalies, Gump Worsley and Harry Lumley, were inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Worsley played 186 games over his 21 NHL seasons, finishing with 333 wins and a 2.87 career goals against average. Lumley was a 2-time All-Star who won a Stanley Cup and a Vezina Trophy during his 16-year NHL career, in which he played for every original 6 team except for Montreal.
Good for him. He knew what he was doing.
Let's boo Fraser's parents again.
Boo.
Shall we?
Oh, no.
That just reminded me of it.
And we did decide on this podcast long ago that Gump is one of the best nicknames in all
it's
sport.
top 5. Yeah.
1968, September 8th, 1968. American Arthur Ashe defeated Holland's Tom Oker in 5 sets to win his first and only U.S. Open men's title. The win made Ashe the first black player to win the men's title, and he remains the only African-American ever to do so.
Wow.
Yeah. Quick hit.
Quick hit! September 8th, 1971. On this day, Mr. Hockey Gordie Howe announced his retirement for the first time after 25 seasons playing with the Detroit Red Wings. At the time, he was the NHL's all-time leading scorer who had won 4 Stanley Cups, 6 Hart Trophies, and 6 Art Ross Trophies. The Hall of Fame waived its usual 3-year waiting period for him and inducted him the next year. He then unretired and played 6 seasons with his sons, Mark and Marty, in the WHL with the Houston Aeros and Hartford Whalers, and then rejoined the NHL in 1979 when the Whalers became one of the 4 former WHA teams admitted to the league. Yeah. I would say maybe Gordie Howe, best known as the only non-French guy to ever retire, make the Hall of Fame, and then come back to join Mario Lemieux and Guy Lafleur. Yeah. And if we're lucky, maybe Cory Stillman.
That's
maybe,
right. Yeah.
Maybe
he'll unretire.
Tonight he'll announce it. He's coming back.
Yeah. He's going to be moved. Fraser Young, thank you for rejoining us on the show. Thank you so much. Big hand for Fraser Young.
Fraser.
He's so funny. We're about to head into the closing part of the first half. We want to give another prize away. Let's check in with our friend John Montgomery. What do you say? Here we go.
Let's do it.
Let's get a prize going.
Hello there, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this day in sports live experience up there in Bobcaygeon. John Montgomery here from the Amazing Race Canada, and I have a little Olympic trivia question for all of you. All right, put on your thinking hats, because here we go. Which American city was chosen by the Olympic Committee to host the 1976 Winter Olympics, but then proceeded to back out in 1972 due to costs and environmental concerns, meaning that they would be held in Innsbruck in Austria instead? Now, here are your choices. Is it A, Minneapolis, B, Seattle, or C, Denver? Which American city would back out of hosting the 1976 games in 1972 because of costs and environmental concerns? A, Minneapolis, B, Seattle, or C, Denver? I'm going to give you a little bit of time to think about that before I come back.
Okay. He's frozen now. Which one are they? A. Who's going B? Who's going C?
C.
All right, a lot of C's out there. All right, let's see how he's doing. He's frozen for us right now.
Okay, that's it. I'm back. You have to give me an answer now. Your final answer. Here you go. The answer is
D.
C.
All right.
Denver. That's right.
The kid in the front row. Kid in the front row. Oh, all right.
Oh my gosh, I got.
You're right there?
Yeah.
For you right there. All
Yeah.
Applause. All right. Well, we're going to close out this the first half because Cory's coming on, and what we want to do now is we're just going to go through and we're going to draft a lineup.
Yep.
Of players.
So every episode, we do this every episode. We do a little draft where we pick from any subject that's related to who our guest is. Sometimes we pick like who had the best hair in the 70s in the NHL, or who had the ugliest uniforms in the 80s, whatever. So our topic tonight, because our esteemed guest is here, is we are going to pick a starting lineup based on teammates of Cory Stillman through his 16-year NHL career. Amazing.
Incredible. A lot of incredible players in these.
So we're all going to pick a center, 2 defensemen, 2 wingers, a goalie, and a head coach.
That's right.
That all were on a roster with Cory Stillman during his career.
That's right. Now I have first pick, and it's going to be a bit of a thing you're not expecting.
Okay.
I'm going to go goalie first.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to go with the goalie that won Stillman his second cup, Martin Gerber.
Oh!
Yes, that's right.
First off the board.
The crowd goes mild, but I'm definitely going Gerber. Here we go.
No response
I've got
whatsoever.
A goalie, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
All right, Mike, what do you got?
Okay, well, that surprised me. Yep. All right, I'm going to take my centerman first, and I think I'm going to, you know what? I lied. I'm going to take a defenseman. I'm going to take Phil Housley.
Phil Housley, Hall of Famer.
Pick.
All right.
All right, well then I will take the centerman you were going to take and take Pierre Turgeon.
Okay.
All right, Pierre, a friend of the podcast.
Who's been on our show,
podcast,
Pierre Turgeon. All right, that's all well and good. I'm going to go ahead and go into, I'll go into the defensive world too, and I will take Al McInnes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, very good.
All right, yeah, that's right.
Defense is
that's
drying up.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to take a right winger now. I'm going to take Jerome McGinley.
All right, good pick. These are incredible, by the way. Look at these names that are coming in, and this is all people that Stillman played with. This is phenomenal.
I know, it's incredible.
Wow.
They played together in Calgary, obviously.
Is Gerber still out there?
No, he was
unfortunately,
I did take him.
Sorry.
I unfortunately have taken Gerber.
You have to check on that.
All right.
Yeah,
well, I think there's only one Hall of Fame defenseman left, so I will take Chris Pronger.
Yes, Chris Pronger is an excellent choice, of course. Okay. I'm just going to Gerber's gone.
Yeah, he's still gone.
Let me just check.
Do you know who I love, and I'm just going to go with my heart? I always did. Pavel Dimitra.
Yeah,
Pavel
great player.
Dimitra in St. Louis. I know, underrated. You know, that's what you're saying, but I'm going to take him.
You got more response on that pick, anyways.
I did. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take a center now, and I'm going to take Joe Newendike.
Joe,
who also played with them in Calgary.
All right, good.
Oh, it's me again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
always
take-
surprised. There's only 3 of us.
Always me again. I'm going to take the first left winger, and I'm going to take Martin St. Louis.
Yeah, that's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
Yeah, is he left wing? Okay.
Is he not?
I always thought he was right.
I have
but
him
okay.
as a right winger, but
Okay, cool.
I'm going to put him at left and
we'll
see how
let
he
Co-
does.
Controversy.
we'll see if Corey
I
will
know
go
Corey.
along with that.
Corey's right here.
Maybe he'll
Corey,
have an opinion
left
and-
or right? I
Yeah.
mean, I think he's right, but
Yeah,
okay.
that's right.
Okay. What's that?
What? We have some mumbling.
Okay,
There we
gave it to
go.
him.
Okay.
Gave it to him.
It's
Okay,
official.
excellent. All right, awesome. I know what. You know what? I'm just gonna go with all surprises this time. I'm gonna go with a left winger, Ray Whitney.
Oh,
I love
okay.
Ray
That
Whitney.
is a-
That's
that
another
is
the
a
wizard.
surprise.
I'm taking him. Let's go.
Okay. Then I'll take my. I got a right winger, and I got a center, and I got a defenseman. So I'm going to take my left winger. I'm going to take Keith Kachuk.
Boo.
They played together
Okay,
in
what?
St. Louis.
I'm kidding.
What?
Booing Kachuk. Oh, it's me.
Oh God,
yeah.
you're always surprised.
I
Why?
know.
There's 3 people. Do you think there's a ghost that's in the middle, or?
I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna go with a goalie. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Grant Fuhr.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
There's a lot of like weird sounds that came out of there.
Yeah, that-
you know what? I'm going to jump in and just go nuts here and go to a coach who I like. A coach I like. There's a lot of great coaches that Corey obviously played for. Joe Quinville. I'm going with Quinville
Yeah,
right now
3
as my
cups.
coach.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Good coach. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to take a bit of a wild pick here. Only I don't really want him on my team, but I want to see if we can get him to talk about him, and I want to hear a little story about him. So I'm going to take my coach, John Tortorella.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
there it
wondering
is.
If somebody
Just because I'm hoping
Yeah.
maybe he'll dish a little bit. I want to know what it's like to play for him.
Stirring it up.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. So what do I need? I need a right winger, and I will take Andrew Chuck.
Okay. Excellent. All right.
Vanderchuk.
Never
All right.
heard of him.
Yep. You got St. Louis. You got a couple right wingers there. Okay. Good. That's perfect. No,
That right side's going to be loaded.
Well, are you putting Gerber there?
Yeah, Gerber can play anywhere. That guy's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna be absolutely right.
Versatile.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Looking at centers,
We're having a good time.
There was a
Oh, yeah.
lot of centers that you played with, Corey, that were very good, and it's a very difficult choice. But again, I've been going with my heart all along. This is a guy. I think he's a grinder that'll always win you something big. I'm gonna go Rod Brindamore.
Yeah,
That's
he's a
right.
great player.
That's a great choice, Sandy. Thanks so much, everybody.
Yeah,
Appreciate
super.
that. That's right.
Again,
There
the
we
crowd
go.
flips out.
There we go. I'm going that, sir. I'm going. Good coach now.
I'm going to go with a little bit, I think, of a bit of a historically underrated player because he played in some, but they played together in Florida. My other defenseman is going to be Jay Bouwmeester.
Bouwmeester. Okay,
He was a
excellent. Okay.
terrific player for a long time.
I need a coach, and I don't know, but he's been around for about 30 years. Something still hasn't won a cup. Paul Maurice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe tonight.
Maybe it's so. And he coached the Jets. I'm from Winnipeg,
Yep.
so Paul Maurice.
Yep, seemed like a popular choice.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm all about the sneaky picks this whole draft. I want to close it out with
Sneaky's an interesting term.
Keep this last round going. Yeah, well, Derek Morris. I know he's forgotten by a lot of people, but he was good for a very long time, and I know that Corey's going to agree with me. Derek Morris. There we go.
All right. The only thing I have left is my goalie, and I can't believe he's still here. I'm going to take Nikolai Havibulin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tampa Bay.
Yep. Those
All
are
right.
2 cup winners now. That's Gerber
Yeah.
and Habibulin, 2 cup winners. And I think Fuhr
You keep
played
bringing
with,
that Gerber into it.
and I think Fuhr played with Stillman for about 3 weeks, so that must be a tough. That must be a hot connect. That must be a hot connection.
Also, for those 3 weeks, he played left wing.
That's right. Absolutely, he did. He absolutely did.
Okay,
what do you got?
My second
Closing.
defenseman.
This is it, right? This is you closing it out.
I'm going to go with Winnipegger. I'm going to go with James Patrick.
Nice.
All right.
I like that you made that pick. That is a sweet pick because I didn't have it on my list. All right. We zipped through this, and they may not have been able to keep up with us out there in the audience, right? But we're going to have these listed up here on the board.
Yeah.
Corey's going to come back second half. He's going to judge these picks, and we're going to have a winner, an ultimate winner, and that this is tense moments. And I know this crowd is very tense right now.
Yeah,
So
already.
I want them to right now. Give yourselves a round of applause. Go get a beer. We'll come back and get the conclusion of this day in sports. All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Everyone get a break? Got some alcohol? Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, one guy. Okay, great. Awesome. One guy had a great break. Everyone else was miserable.
Record bar sales.
We always kick off the second half because we want to get the energy up a little bit.
We do.
So we're going to talk a little birthdays. The September 8th birthdays. So we're kicking off with Matt. Who do you got there?
First, I want to know, did anyone buy anything at the merch table?
So
Okay, we got to go.
Yes.
By the end, we're going to sell a
We're going to sell a
and our
cabin
friend in the
sweater.
front brought $2 earlier.
Oh yeah,
$2
that's right.
and he got his
$2.
tea, that's
okay,
right.
so we're on a roll.
Don't forget, you get a one of a kind NHL bookmark when you buy anything.
That's
at the
true.
merch table.
Even a
That's right.
shirt goes in there.
Even if you buy a bookmark, you get another bookmark. Buy the table. Whatever you need to buy. That's right. Frank, you good? Frank Russo, everybody, working hard over there.
Yeah.
Very silently working behind the scenes.
Still
Matt,
rocking this day
kick
in
off the
sports.
birthdays because it's already been revealed behind
Yeah,
you.
who it is.
Okay.
Yeah, no secrets. It's
In
not a surprise party.
1974, New York Giants receiver, receiving yards leader, Amani Toomer, was born in Berkeley, California. We got a woo!
That's Fraser. I'm sure
that's
that's
Fraser,
Fraser.
of course. And he was born in 1974, so that means today, September 8th, he turns 50.
Oh, happy
birthday.
50th, Amani Toomer.
Toomer. You remember Kerry Collins throwing him those deep ones?
On this September the 8th, 1907, Hall of Famer and 13-time Negro League All-Star first baseman Buck Leonard was born in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Now, that's Buck Leonard. I just want to say a couple things about Buck Leonard. He won 3 Negro League home run titles, 2 batting titles, and he has a .346 lifetime average. And when he was teammates with Josh Gibson, who was often called the Black Babe Ruth, right? He was known as the Black Lou Gehrig because he was that good. And people who played with him said Lou Gehrig should be known as the Black Buck Leonard.
The white,
Or the white Buck Leonard. That's
Probably
right,
that would
Sorry.
probably go.
It's very confusing
I think
keeping
there is a
track
black
of it all.
Buck
Yeah.
Leonard, and that's that guy right
I
there.
ruined everything I wanted to say.
That's okay. No, Mike. No, Mike.
Drive safely, everybody.
Mike's autobiography. I ruined everything I wanted to say.
Story of my life.
I did look him up after you said that. He hit 420 one season.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
His career on base percentage is over 450.
Wow.
Well,
It's incredible.
I can segue into 1945, September 8th, 1945. Vezina Trophy winner, 3-time All-Star, one of the coolest goalies when you were growing up in that era. Hall of Fame goalie, Rogi Vachon. Palerole, Quebec.
Look at that.
There
Look
he
at that
goes,
unit.
man. He was the coolest
So
goalie.
slick.
He was the coolest goalie.
All right, put some candles in the cake and everybody get behind the couch. This is a surprise birthday.
This one's a surprise.
A surprise
yeah.
birthday.
Okay.
In 1970, to 4-time NBA All-Star small forward.
He's already here. Hurry up. Hurry up.
He found
Hurry
it.
up,
He
Matt.
does not look happy about this surprise party. Latrell Sprewell was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Spree.
All right.
Happy birthday.
All right.
All right.
Had an
in
entire
19
intermission to go to the washroom.
Okay.
In 1948, Mike, take it away.
In 1948, pro wrestling legend The Great Kabuki was born in Miyazaki, Japan. He
Allegedly.
of the famous green mist. Remember, he would spray his opponent with green mist, and
Yeah.
they'd all have a seizure and pass out. Yeah, it was a good time.
Because wrestling's real.
Yeah.
1978, September 8th, 1978, first German NHL star Marco Sturm in Dingolfing, Germany. There we go. Marco
Also
Sturm.
looking wide.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, come on.
Yeah.
1990, happy birthday to 6-time All-Star AL Cy Young winner Garrett Cole was born in Newport Beach, California.
All right. Booing the
Oh,
Yankees.
yeah,
Booing
we
the
get some
Yankees.
booing.
Booing the
Booing
Yankees.
Yankees.
Just
He's
booing the
I
already
like it,
got
I like
over
it.
2,000
Booing the Yankees, Matt. You can't
strikeouts.
win. Doesn't matter. Booing
Doesn't
the
matter?
Yankees. Yeah, they booed Babe Ruth. He came back from the grave
That's
right
right.
now. They don't
Okay.
like the Yankees.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so they should. 1956, Hall of Famer, 4-time All-Star, and 5-time All-Defensive Team point guard Mo Cheeks in Chicago, Illinois. Mo Cheeks, great player, but also remember when that poor girl was singing the anthem in Portland?
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
she forgot the words, and he came and put his arm around her and sang it with her
Yeah.
while he was the head coach. Class act, Mo Cheeks.
Quality
Happy birthday.
human. Happy birthday. And
Did
to
he
close
also have
things
the
out,
wrong words?
Yeah, he sang it wrong, too.
September 8th, 1997, St. Louis Cardinals outfielder, Team Japan player, one of the great baseball names, Lars Nootbaar in El Segundo, California. Lars Nootbaar. That is a fantastic baseball name right there.
Yes, it is.
And as wide as he is, I don't care. He's still Lars
He looks very happy to
Nootbaar.
be as wide as he is.
This crowd wants to win a prize. Let's roll one more final trivia video. Here we go.
Hello everyone, hopefully you're enjoying yourself in beautiful Bobcaygeon. My name is Elvis Stoico, 3-time world figure skating champion, 2-time Olympic silver medalist, and I have an Olympic trivia question for you. The very first Winter Olympics was held 100 years ago, 1924, in Chamonix, France. Over those 100 years of Winter Olympics, which country has won the most medals? Is it A, the USA, B, Norway, or C, the USSR.
Ooh. Who's got A? Who's got A?
Who's got A?
Who's
Who's
investing
got
in
B? All right. Who's got
B?
C? Okay,
We got
double
C?
hands up there. Okay, all right. Let's see what the big reveal is. I think that's his thinking face. Here we go.
That's his thinking
Here we
face.
go. Answer is, it is.
And the answer is B, Norway, with a total of 329 medals. So whoever got it right, yay for you. Whoever got it wrong, who cares? It's a beautiful day. I was going to go skating, but you know what? I'm just going to hang out and enjoy the beautiful day. Hopefully you guys are doing the same thing. Have a great one.
Thanks, Elvis.
Nighttime.
All right. Mike quietly handed out a prize there. That was
I
like
did.
stealthy.
Yeah, the gentleman in the second row there. I heard him shout it out quickly, so he got the prize.
All right. Well, we had a draft before we went to the break, and that draft was to select the greatest players that played with Cory Stillman in his 16 years in the NHL. And I'm going to do a little intro here, even though we've talked a little bit about him earlier. Our judge today played 16 seasons in the NHL, amassing 278 goals, 727 points, and winning 2 Stanley Cups. That's 2 more than everyone else in this room.
Yes.
One with Tampa, another with Carolina, making him one of only 12 players in NHL history to win Stanley Cups in back-to-back seasons with 2 different teams.
Wow.
There we go. Wow. He was born in Peterborough, played with the Petes, and was named just named head coach of the Guelph Storm in the OHL. Please welcome to the show, Cory Stillman's here. Is he coming through that door? Is he going through that door? Is he at the apartment? He's at the apartment. Cory Stillman's here. Yes.
He knows the drill.
You did it.
I went through it.
Yes, you did it. Don't worry. Cory, don't worry about closing the door. The security in this place is terrible.
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay. Cory, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You must be so excited. You're now going to be coaching in the OHL and the Guelph Storm. And what are your feelings on that right now?
I'm excited to get back and to teach. Coached a little bit for 3 years, say in Sudbury. Came a little bit further south again, right? So, but it'll be exciting. We're not going to be a great team, but maybe we can surprise and make the playoffs. That's my goal.
Okay, that's good. That's it. That's what you
simple.
Like you in your career, 16 years, you must think back and think of what teams were surprised and made the playoffs.
I have 2, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and they're 2 big teams.
yeah.
Oh.
Can you name them?
Was it Carolina and Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
so on that as you go through. Especially the team in Carolina, we were picked to finish last in the East.
Wow. Yeah.
And just things started to roll. So
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when Martin Gerber's your goalie. Matt, Mike.
I got a question though.
Yeah.
I did win. Does anybody know who played net that year in the finals?
For
Carolina?
Cam Ward.
That's right. Cam Ward. Little known, but yeah, I'm just joking. Cam Ward. That's right.
Yeah.
So I have no more questions because I'm stunned that you're not so excited that you came out in a Gerber jersey.
I have a question. I have a question
Yep.
for Cory. Inspired by this, by one of our early round things where the Vancouver fans, they booed Team Canada, and then we talked about how Philly fans booed, the Eagles, but that's natural. As an athlete, or you can only speak for yourself personally, but does it really get to you? Do you shake it off in the locker room? What is the team saying? Are they like, screw that, or how does that feel? How does that feel?
I would go with one where Philly might have the toughest fans.
Okay.
Yeah. I really say that. And the opposite side of it, if you were a visiting team and you had a friend that went in wearing your jersey, usually he didn't make it out of the building. Right? Like it's it's changing, but Philly's a tough side. As a team, you hear it walking off when you are getting booed, and then you shake it off. But again, it's the side of they pay big money, they expect you to win, and it's up to you as a team.
Yeah, and they're invested.
Yeah. They're invested. It's like you're invested in the Leafs.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's I'm a Leaf fan. But
that's a mix on that. Okay, there you go. These guys are cheering. There you go.
When you grow up and that's what's on TV, that's who you cheer for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's kind of segue for my own self, saying how much I don't like Philly fans. I was born in Flin Flon, Manitoba. Like Bobby Clark is like a god in Flin Flon, Manitoba, and Bobby Clark.
Exactly.
Thank you. But so true, right? You're like as a kid, you're just totally. That's who it was. Bobby Clark was everything, right? But then you get out of there and you go to Toronto, you live your life a little bit, and you realize realize how Philly fans are just like so terrible, in my opinion. Yet you have that conflict because I can't go around in a Flyers jersey in Toronto without getting heckled, right? Yeah. So I choose to wear a Flin Flon Bombers jersey with Bobby Clarke. Yeah.
Corey, I know you've been coaching the last few years in Arizona. Are you sad to be leaving that weather to come to the weather of Guelph in the winter?
It's going to be a change, yes. We went to...
How does your wife feel about that?
Okay, so I'll give you the story on that one goes. We play, I started in Calgary, went to St. Louis. Every time I started playing hockey, I kept getting further south. And then
that's right, yeah.
And then realized you don't really need the snow to play.
Right.
So retire, and then I go to Sudbury. So we were right back into it, went back to Arizona, so we'll see. We rented an apartment where there's no driveway to shovel, underground parking.
Fantastic.
We'll see. I am going to keep the place in Arizona just in case she needs to go.
One day they'll just see you leaving for the airport. You're like, the hell with this.
And if any of us come down to Arizona, we can all stay.
Yeah,
We all
Okay.
got stay.
Yeah.
Spring training, whatever you need.
Yeah, that's
Corey's
great.
already said no problem.
Yeah.
So Corey, we want to jump into this because we did this draft. There's so many names. It was incredible. I mean, 16 years, you're going to amass a lot of great teammates that you played with, a lot of coaches we've included as well. And I know you were saying like before we wanted to have you in the show, we were talking like the interview, pre-show interview, we'll say. You said, I don't want to say anything negative about these guys. I want to be very positive. And I said to you, well, that's exactly the opposite of when we had Glenn Healy on the show. Healy, we didn't have coaches in his category. And at the end of the whole time together, they said, guys, next time put coaches in there. I want to tell you how I feel about Mike Keenan.
I never played for him. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like we've that's a different energy, perhaps you could say, and that's totally fine. And we're going to start off right here. We've got the coaches in there now, of course, and this is going to be the first team. We'll go through Team Sandy. And again, this is just any way you want to judge is fine. Any comments you want to make, we just want to just chat with you, basically. Any kind of parameters at the end of the day of deciding which is the best lineup is fine.
Yeah, your criteria is your own.
Always. So we have Ray Whitney, Rod Brindamore, Pavel Dimitra, Al McInnes, Derek Morris, Martin Gerber, and Joel Quinville as your coach. That's, of course, a great lineup. They all three will be. What are you thinking when you think it's that list? What pops out at you for that?
You went with a lot of Hall of Famers.
Did I?
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, Brindamore,
McInnes, yeah.
Pavel Dimitra should have been one.
I think so too.
I think
so,
I'm a fan of
He-
Dimitra.
I think he might get in before, you know what I mean? Like,
he was okay. So when I went to St. Louis, he is a special player.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to believe that he was an Ottawa Senator that was playing in PEI in the minors. That's where I first saw him.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he was very special. The other guys were there. Derek Morris, great pick. Martin Gerber, great goalie, got us to the playoffs.
Yes, thank you.
Cam Ward.
And then Cam Ward finished the
Played.
playoffs and won the Conn Smythe that year. So
Just, not to quibble, but
yeah. And then Q as a coach. I was fortunate. I've played for a lot of great coaches, and up there right now, there's still Peter. You're missing Peter Laviolette.
yeah. Like,
Right?
that's how many you had. Yeah.
That means I'm a bit of a suitcase.
Well,
So if you don't know,
means
if
a lot
some
of
people
teams
don't know what that
wanted
means.
you.
It means I traveled a lot. I got traded a lot. But no, they're good. The next one, we go back to the Calgary days,
oh, yeah.
right? Keith Kachuk, big power forward. Joe Neuendijk. My first ever apartment, I got to rent his place because he was holding out, and that was the reason why I got to play in the NHL.
Whose apartment was
Joe
it?
Neuendijk.
Joe Neuendijk.
Really?
Yep.
Because Neuendijk was holding out.
Because Neuendijk was holding out. For my experiences, I went and played in the minors for 2 years. I get called up. You play a bit. You get sent back down. So the next year I could play. And I'm teetering. I can still get sent to the minors. And Joe Neuendijk decides that he's going to hold out for a contract, which then opened the door for me to jump in and play and get my foot in the door. And that year, I spent from September to January 1st in a hotel room.
Oh.
Right? So it's one of those, you don't want to say anything, you just want to play, you show up every day, and you live, and it's a dream.
Yeah.
And I think in just right around that time, they traded Joe Neuendijk. They told me to find a place and knew he was actually, we had the same agent, would be like, would you like to rent my place? I was like, sure, not knowing that I went into a 2-level penthouse condo. And
A little above the rookie pay grade there.
a little bit above my pay grade when it went through there, but he was good. He gave me a great deal on it and was happy. But he was great. Again, like what can you say about Iggy? Phil Housley, offensive defenseman, Joel Bolmeister, Nikolai Habibula, and then Torts. And torts.
Yeah,
And torts.
Yeah, torts.
That's all we're going to get from you. And torts.
And torts.
Well, that's interesting because we always do ask that when you have guys on the show, different players that come on the show, and we ask about what was your path to the NHL, to baseball, basketball, whatever the sport is. Your story is interesting. We had Matthew Schneider on the show, and he told us that he got his shot because Larry Robinson broke his leg playing polo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? First of all, why are you playing polo in the middle of an NHL season?
And who plays polo?
Exactly. So you never know what path it's going to be that takes you there. But this is the first person that said, this guy left and I took his apartment.
Yes.
Regardless
So
of what it is.
he moved out and I moved right in.
Yeah, amazing.
Right? So
Amazing.
that was the one from there.
Yeah. His picture's still on the wall? Like, was there like family photos of him I love being here?
No, he was a great place. I'm not going to lie on that.
Yeah.
Great place. And then let's see.
Wait, you were going to, you said torts and then Sandy cut you off. You got anything else? Were you going to say something?
You know what? Torts is actually a great coach.
That's what I'm fascinated by because he keeps getting hired by places,
and he's a hard coach.
Yeah.
So I think as we go through the game's changing, but mentality Torts has really had to change. Where before he was right in your face, he would call you out. The one thing I did like about him though is if he went at you and he gave you an opportunity to get back on the ice,
right?
To see if you could understand what he was talking about.
Right.
That's the one thing is everyone says he's fair. Now, some people like him, some people hate him. I think it's your mindset on what type of player you are, right? Can you handle that criticism or the hard, coming down? He'd come right down the bench and yell at you, and then he would call your line to go right back up. So,
right.
But his game. He's changed, I think, a lot.
You can tell in his press conferences he has evolved. He's at least trying to say what he's supposed to say. You can see him kind of gritting his teeth sometimes, like I feel like.
Yeah, well, but there was a great one this year because we had Sean Gauthier on our show early on in the podcast, and he's the father of Cutter Gauthier.
Yep.
And when Cutter Gauthier basically demanded to be traded out of Philly, and then they went to the conference and said to Tortorella, "What do you think about the Cutter Gauthier situation?" He goes, "Honestly, I don't even know what that guy is. Like, I don't even.
I've never seen him.
I've never seen him. Don't care. Like, he just wanted to move on."
So and that's Torts being honest and upfront. And when you go to training camps when you're a young guy or you get drafted and you go, the coach doesn't have a clue who you are.
Right.
He's being honest, right? I don't know who this guy is.
He's being honest.
Yeah.
He's really being honest.
Yeah.
You've played college or whatever. They're worried about their everyday team, how they're preparing, how they're doing that. Once he makes the team or once he's coming through the system, then I'll know who he is.
Right on. It seems to me like honesty from a coach would be a trait you would want as a player, though.
Oh,
right?
you do.
If you get a head coach or manager who's not honest with you, it seems to me when you hear guys talk, that seems to me when they lose the room.
The hardest thing to play through is mind games.
Yeah.
Just have a guy come out, tell you why you're playing, why you're not playing, why you're seeing 20 minutes a game, less than that. And if you can do that as a player, you'll do everything for him. And as a coach, you can actually have honest conversations. Yep.
Things to remember as you head to Guelph.
I will.
This is
I
exactly
will remember
right.
this.
Exactly right.
I will remember this, especially when I play Peterborough. Right? Like
Thank you. That's it.
That's when it comes in.
Segue into team Matt is Martin St. Louis, who is left wing, right wing, and center. All those positions.
Also goalie.
He
Yep,
was
goalie,
listed
thank
as
you.
a center one year, a left winger another year, and right winger a lot of years.
Pierre Turgeon, Dave Anderchuk, Chris Pronger, James Patrick, Grant Fuhrer, and Paul Maurice.
Okay, so I rented James Patrick's house too when I was in
Is that your thing?
Whoa! Holy cow!
You are a carpetbagger, aren't you?
So that and I go from a penthouse to then I go right.
James Patrick's parents' basement? Like, what was it?
So I go to James Patrick. He, I think, had then signed somewhere else. Same thing. Moved and asked if my wife and I would want to go into it. And then we moved out to a house, like a 3-car garage on the lake. We're in Calgary. It's cold. And he goes, "You'll be surprised in the wintertime what happens out here." Well, what happens? There goes the Zamboni. They flooded a skating path through the little lake that we lived on. If your rink was big enough that you built for the kids, the Zamboni would come in and flood your rink.
So great.
And I was like,
man.
wow, like this is a great place.
Yeah,
It's a great place, but it sounds like a cautionary tale when it's like, I went to this Airbnb, and the guy said, "You'll be surprised what happens here in the winter
I guess
time."
it's the games. Everything's
It's like
changed.
The Shining. Goodbye. It's like,
Everything's changed on that one. But no, great. Grant Fuhrer played a little bit with him, not a whole lot. And Paul Maurice, who I thought might have won tonight, but I don't think they're winning. Is that correct?
they're not winning.
I don't know
tonight.
if anyone's taping the game,
Yeah.
but
Edmonton is winning.
okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just
We
say
will.
that.
It looks.
That's
It
just-
looks.
yeah, we said
It looks
that.
like we'll see a game 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
we are in
It's September the 8th. ladies and
September
gentlemen.
the
That's
8th.
right.
Thank you, Dave, for reminding us what day it is today. I appreciate that. Thank you, Dave. Very
They
sharp.
are
Very
in-
sharp for a 60-year-old man. That's very good. I wanted to.
Dave, it's the quintillionth overtime.
I want to actually, just before we even get even further, and we want to talk about some guys we might have missed. I'm just curious because we talked about the coaching. So if you looked at even just these three coaches, like Quenneville, Tortorella, Maurice, and you sort of alluded to it, Mike, who are you taking the most influence from, or is it just a mixture of those when you go into Guelph?
I will take mostly a lot of Joel Quenneville.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the way he ran practice or whatever. And actually, we developed people here from Peterborough. There's Jimmy Roberts. So we actually I still run a drill we call Jimmy Roberts that came from Q, who actually Jimmy Roberts was the assistant coach in St. Louis when I was there. So 20 years later, I still run it. And when I coached minor hockey, I still ran the same drill with 7 and 8-year-olds that we will run with 19, 20-year-olds. And we ran it in the NHL, and he ran it before his stuff every day.
So the connection, Jimmy Roberts, you said, is that connection to Peterborough? What is that? Because they're
With the Pete's and stuff, yeah.
okay. Because some of these folks are from Lindsay and they don't want to recognize Peterborough. So I just,
Just don't mention Bracebridge.
That is not part of the
They get
Kawarthas.
hot.
That is not part of we have a place in the Kawarthas. That's what we call home. So that's
Okay, you're safe.
So that's interesting for a little bit more influence from Quenneville. That's interesting. All these great coaches.
they're all great coaches,
yeah,
right?
for sure. Who do we miss? Who do we not pick or draft that you think are like that's a big miss?
For me personally, as a line mate, would be Eric Stahl and Eric Cole.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
Right. Eric Stahl was a great player. I brought him. Vinny Lecavalier.
Yeah, that just shows how many centers there were. Unbelievable.
It just shows how many teams I was.
Well,
on.
that's it.
Like, that's
teams wanted you. That's the good thing.
That's what it is. When you get traded, you can go two sides. This team doesn't want me, or the other team really wants me. And a couple times were deadline trades. In Ottawa, I would have said I did play with Daniel Alfredson and Mike Fisher.
Yeah.
So that was a year that I got traded there, played about 25 games. Both those guys get hurt, and then we get swept by Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh goes on to win the Stanley Cup. So
Fisher did get drafted last night for the All Kawarthas team.
he did.
I
got a question. Was I on that or no?
Well, we decided that you were not allowed to be drafted because you were not born in this area.
In the Kawarthas.
Yeah,
I guess Peterborough's not.
No, I'm just kidding. We just felt that we would be too much
you
Stillman.
because we thought it would be too kiss-assy.
Yeah. I thought you were going to get heated when I said that and go, I was born in Peterborough. I was trying to pump you up. But no, we just said it was going to be too much Stillman in one weekend.
And my kid stayed with the Martones.
Yeah,
they said that last night. We had him here, yeah.
He was billeted there.
They were,
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, he was drafted last night. Yeah.
Was he?
Yep.
Corey was drafted?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how old we are. We can't remember last night. Congratulations, Corey. You were drafted last night.
There we go.
That's right.
Yeah. Whose team was he on?
Yours.
Oh, shit. Corey, it's been great.
There, yes.
No, you were drafted last night. Well, this is great.
Yeah, it was you,
what a
Bob.
roller coaster of emotions you just went
Bob,
through there.
The left wingers were you, Bob Gainey, and Don Maloney.
Yeah. Pretty good
pretty good
company you
group.
got
Not
right
bad.
there.
Yeah,
Those
not
are the
bad.
three left wingers that were taken. That's fantastic.
That's
So the fact checking on the show is stellar, by the way. We always know what's going on.
We have to hire a staff.
We
next.
do. We really do. We have to hire someone to make better graphics. Okay. That's
Better
okay.
graphics?
And then maybe a better staff on the graphics.
Yes, and better note-taking.
Corey, so who else would we miss? Anybody else that you're glaring?
Great players.
Those are great ones, by the way, for sure. And you could pick another round of
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You could do it.
Yeah, you could go.
We have Roman Turek not on there.
Yeah.
Really good. Danny Heatley.
Danny Heatley.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Mike Vernon.
Yep. It's all coming down to this. It's very
a
tense.
lot.
The audience has gone completely quiet.
Yeah.
Because they are very nervous right now. You
the
can
trophy ready.
do this any way you want to do, but which of these teams are you thinking is our champion of the Cory Stillman edition? The 50th episode, by the way.
That's right.
By
wow.
Thursday Sports. Yeah. Episode 50. We saved you for episode 50, Corey. This is a big deal.
I would go in second place as Team Mike.
Yep.
Okay.
Congrats.
Can I hold it for a minute?
Yeah, you can hold it for now.
And in first place, I have to go with you, Sandy.
Hey, give me that trophy, Mike.
It's because he drafted you last night, isn't it?
I love Gerbs, but
Who was it?
Cam Ward. If you did that, you would have had what? Whitney, Brindamore, and three guys in Carolina. So you picked a team.
That's it. And I was saying that Derek Morris is actually kind of forgotten, but I mean, even back in the day when you were like doing even hockey pools, he was a great defenseman.
Great defenseman. Not a big guy.
No.
I'd like to say I'm 6'1".
Yeah, this is a Frazier moment. Frazier, this is your moment, Frazier.
Or 5'11", then you know you're full of it again. So, but no, Derek Morris was a great player for not a big defenseman that played in the 90s. It was a big man's game.
Yeah,
and we were fortunate to get through it and play. But he was a great player that got missed and went for a long time.
That was it. The Derek Morris moment. You guys okay?
Yeah, I'm a little upset.
You're a little upset. I'm going to go. We're just out of time, but I'm going to throw one thing out there. This is going to be completely random, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to ask the audience if one person in this audience has a question for Cory Stillman right now. Because we don't do this for the audience. I want to see what this goes.
Okay.
Through.
Okay.
I'm trusting this audience are going to have one question for Cory Stillman.
Wants to ask.
Something they want to ask. You there in the front row. I'll repeat your question into this microphone. Game on the line. Who do you want taking the penalty? Who's taking a penalty shot? All your teammates. Who takes a penalty shot? Game on the line there, Cory. Thank you for the question.
Grant Fuhrer.
Martin Gerber. Martin Gerber. For sure.
So 05-06 was when it first came out, right?
Yeah.
And the best shooter we had was Matt Cullen.
Matt Cullen.
Okay.
Whoa, there we go.
Yep. But every year, right? It could change, but that year, and it was you'd come out and every day you'd hope that the coach picked you to go and practice. Just there was 10 guys and you could get down in if you scored, and actually he won us a few games that year to put
Matt Cullen.
Matt Cullen. In 05-06, I would have said Matt Cullen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool answer.
That's a great answer.
That's
good.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. And then just
I'd like to change my team. I'd like Matt Cullen.
Matt Cullen to go up there. And then who do you never want to take a shot? You don't have to go negative. I'm only kidding. It's been such a pleasure to have you on the show. Cory Stillman makes an appearance on our 50th episode. How fantastic is that? 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Fantastic guy. Peterborough to the core, right?
Peterborough to the core.
All right, let's give him a big round of applause. Cory Stillman. Yes. Cory, thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for being here. We just want to do a quick thank yous. Globus Theater, first of all. Sarah and James took a huge leap of faith to have a sports show here in this theater. Let's give them a big round of applause. Working so hard for us. Rebecca as well with Globus, such a big part of doing this show. Fantastic. Michael in the back. Michael's in the back. We have a stage manager that we can't allow to go on stage. He's back there. Michael. Let's give a hand for Michael back there.
Yeah.
But really, thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you to all our sponsors. Hope you enjoyed the prizes that you get. Those folks are so fantastic to donate all of those things. And thank you for the stranger that asked that hot question there at the end. So
thank you to Fraser.
Fraser Young. Fraser Young I was going to get to. Fraser Young came all the way back from a back injury in Kelowna to be here today with us today. Can I have a big hand for Fraser Young? Fantastic. Thank you, Fraser. Yes. I'm Sandy Jobin Bevins.
I'm Matt Kippen.
I'm Mike Shera.
And that over there is Frank Russo. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time on This Day in Sports. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.